Hello, this is Kamera. My first few minutes with God, day number 236. Jeremiah chapter 51 through 52. God says he will stir up a destroyer against Babylon. The Lord has not abandoned Israel and Judah. God is still their God. It is time for vengeance. Her punishment reaches the heavens. The Lord has inspired the kings of the Medes to march against Babylon to destroy her. The Lord made the earth by his power and preserved it by his wisdom. He is the creator of everything that exists. God says, I will repay Babylon for all the wrong it has done. You will be completely wiped out, God says. To the exiles, God says, come out, flee Babylon, save yourselves. Just as Babylon killed people of Israel and others throughout the world, so must her people be killed. A scroll that Jeremiah had all his prophetic disasters written, he gave that to Sariah, who was told that when he's in Babylon, to read it aloud, tie it to a stone, and then toss it in the Euphrates River. Then say, in the same way the stone and the scroll sunk, Babylon and her people will sink again, never to rise. Zedekiah, king of Judah, he did evil in the sight of God. He also rebelled against Nebuchadnezzar, king of Babylon. The 9th year of his reign, though, Nebuchadnezzar led his army against Jerusalem and kept it under siege for 2 years. Yeah. Zedekiah and his officers, they fled in the night in secrecy through a section of the wall that was broken. The Babylonian officers, they chased them down, and the officers scattered, leaving Zedekiah. Zedekiah was taken, and then he was forced to watch his own sons slaughtered. So his officials as well. He watched them slaughtered as well. Zedekiah's eyes were then gouged out, and he was bound and led to Babylon. So back in Jerusalem, you had Nebuzaradan. He was the captain of the guards. He led his military to burn down the temple of the Lord, the royal palace, and all the houses of Jerusalem. He also destroyed important buildings in the city of Jerusalem. The walls of Jerusalem, they were torn down as well. People were exiled. Some of the poor people, they stayed back and they were in charge of maintaining the fields and the vineyards. But there were some people who actually surrendered, but there were some, they were just exiled. Articles of God were carried to Babylon. Nebuzaradan, again, the captain of the guards, he took his prisoners, Sariah, the high priest, Zephaniah, who was second in command, he was a priest, 3 gatekeepers, the king's personal advisors, a few other people, some officers, and a few other people who were also in hiding. They were in hiding. Took them to the king, and the king had them executed. Yeah. So how about this? 37 years later, remember King Jehoiakim, he was also a previous king of Judah before Zedekiah. But 37 years later, before he was actually placed into exile, a prison in Babylon. Well, this new king of Babylon, 37 years later, has released him, and he was very kind to Jehoiakim. He released him. He gave him clothes. He gave him food, and he had given him authorization to sit at the king's table to the end of his life. But also, he was given a higher place than all the other kings that were in exile. There you have it, guys. That's day number 236, Jeremiah chapter 51 through 52. You have a God-filled, blessed day.